Welcome to Reducing Evaluation Biases, a faculty development session for the Wayne State University School of Medicine Admissions Committee interviewers. I'm Dr. Heidi Crumray, the Assistant Dean for the Office of Learning and Teaching. The goals for today's brief session are to understand evaluation bias, identify types of evaluation biases, and to understand methods to decrease evaluation biases. Evaluation bias is the inclination to present or maintain a perspective at the expense of possibly valid alternatives. Raters, faculty members such as yourselves, evaluate a resident, or in this case, a medical school candidate based on their personal opinion, instead of using available data and objective measures. This is a type of evaluation bias. We'll go over a few types of evaluation biases today in this presentation that you see here on this slide. There are many, many more, but this will give you a basic understanding of evaluation biases in general. The first type of evaluation bias is the halo effect, which is the predisposition to score someone high in all evaluation categories because the candidate is high in one or two areas. For example, a candidate presents with a high GPA and MCAT score, and the interviewer tends to rate them high in all categories in spite of lackluster performance in other performance domains. Conversely, the horn, or the devil effect, is the predisposition to score someone low in all evaluation categories because the candidate is low in one or two performance domains. This may occur when a student has a marginal MCAT or GPA, and the interviewer rates them lower in all other categories in spite of exceptional performance in some of these domains. Evaluation biases related to first impressions result when the interviewer forms an overall impression about the candidate on the basis of some particular characteristics of the candidate identified by them. The identified qualities and features may not provide adequate basis for approval. For appraisal. Perhaps the candidate is dressed impeccably in a style that is favored by the interviewer, or is wearing a military uniform that, in the eyes of the interviewer, represents a positive or negative trait. First impressions are powerful and may influence the way that other information is processed. Truth avoidance bias occurs when the interviewer avoids honest assessment of the candidate's performance. Perhaps the candidate is extremely congenial and the interviewer comes to like them very much during the interview. Perhaps the candidate has faced difficult obstacles and the interviewer feels empathy for their situation and wants to give them an opportunity that might otherwise not be available to them. There are many cues and factors that might lead an interviewer to subconsciously avoid honestly reviewing the candidate's application that may lead to truth avoidance. Biases related to the recency effect occur when the interviewer tends to generalize evaluation of the candidate based on their most recent behavior while discounting previous behavior. Achievements and events that happened lately tend to bear more influence on evaluators' performance ratings than achievements and events from earlier in the evaluation or performance period. It's important to consider the entire candidate's history and to examine trends and sustainable engagement when rating a candidate's performance. Contrast errors occur when the interviewer compares the applicant to other candidates rather than the designated performance standards. Perhaps your first interviewer of the day was with an exceptional candidate with outstanding academic record and all the boxes checked. Your second candidate may also be an excellent fit for Wayne State University School of Medicine, but in comparison to the first interview of the day, had less educational attainment or less volunteer experience, etc. It's important to consider each candidate individually and to use the performance criteria as intended, as opposed to comparing candidates to each other. The similar to me effect results in evaluation bias in favor of candidates who are similar to the interviewer. Similarities may be based on a variety of factors such as schools attended, common friends or colleagues, or interests, religion, hobbies, communication styles, etc. It's important to keep in mind that we're often drawn to those who are similar to us, and that we should keep an open mind to those who have different life experiences and traits, and to be especially aware of this bias when interviewing those who are very different from us. It is essential that interviewers do not discriminate against any candidate due to race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, national origin, or disability. You should not ask questions about a candidate's race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or national origin or disability. If a candidate brings up these topics, listen carefully and with empathy, and transition back to your planned questions. Evaluation biases occur when interviewers ignore that opportunities may impact performance. crediting or blaming a candidate when in fact the real cause of performance or lack thereof could be opportunity. Keep in mind the context of candidate's life trajectory and do your best to consider how he or she maximized the opportunities that were available to them. Finally, it's important to understand that research supports there are methods to reduce evaluation biases that include increasing awareness of the types of evaluation biases presented today. Presenting raters with examples of common rating errors and biases such as the halo effect, contrast errors, and alerting raters to potential biases such as the similar to me effect are the first step in reducing these biases. Other methods to reduce evaluation biases include performance dimension training, which is familiarizing raters with the dimensions and rating scale by which the performance is rated, and performance standard training, which is providing raters with a frame of reference for rating performance by providing feedback on practice ratings compared to true ratings by trained experts. This concludes our presentation on reducing evaluation biases. I hope this is as helpful to you in your interviews with the outstanding candidates for Wayne State University School of Medicine. Thank you very much for your attention.